Alright guys, so in this video I wanted to discuss a brand new baseball stadium project, not in the United States, but in South Korea. It is a covered dome baseball stadium that has a seating capacity of 21,000 and a shopping mall that's apparently supposed to be attached to it. There it is right there. The rendering, kind of the aerial shot, the shopping mall on the right, and the baseball stadium, the dome baseball stadium on the left. This is the interior of it. Very interesting design, intriguing design. Just looking at the seating, I'm surprised it only seats 21K. It looks like kind of a bigger upper deck there. But yeah, apparently the capacity is 21K. Very interesting. I'm going to go through this stadium, kind of just talk about it. You take a look down the left field line. Looks like they've got some type of maybe hotel rooms, maybe a pool overlooking down the left field line. Really unique design. Of course, above everything, you do have the glass paneling, which does let in natural light. That's very important if you're going to go with a dome stadium without a translucent roof. This kind of reminds me of the new proposed Tampa Bay Rays dome stadium, how they really don't have a translucent roof, but they do have areas like within the outer walls where you can kind of see through and let natural light in. You can see above left field. They've got some seating, they've got a bullpen, they've got the giant scoreboard, and then above that, this reminds me of like the standing room area of the potential new Kansas City Royals stadium. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to choose that rendering for the Royals, but they also have like standing room only out in their left field area, but that's interesting. You can see they've got just a typical center field batter's eye. You've got ivy. Above that, it looks like you've got some type of luxury residential areas, as well as more standing room. Also, maybe like a little park out there. Not exactly sure what that is, but interesting. And then you can see the shopping mall out in right field, so you can do your shopping and kind of go to the windows and look at the games. Is that what they're saying? That's where the shopping mall would be attached to. And apparently, like, there's windows where you could go into stores and then go out of them and then kind of just go to the window and see the game action. And then maybe there's like some standing room towards the bottom you could go into from the shopping mall, which is also attached. Also, it looks like there's another field beyond there. That's kind of, I'm not sure what that is, but either way, that's a very interesting design. Certainly nothing like we've seen. The only comparable thing I could say in terms of like an attached shopping mall or a center, the Brooklyn Dodgers, when they were possibly going to stay in Brooklyn, they had a stadium design that had a shopping mall and a movie theater. It was like contained within it. And then the other one, the more recent one, I would say, how about the Orlando Dreamers and their design where they've got an entire like nature complex with a bunch of, palm trees and growery and stuff going beyond their center field area. They've also got different balconies. I'm not exactly sure what those balconies are supposed to contain because they never really went over that when it comes to a potential Orlando Dreamers ballpark. That dream almost seems dead. I don't want to be ironic there, the Dreamers and the dream, but yeah, that dream is probably dead if the Rays are staying put in Tampa Bay. I can't see MLB getting another Florida team after the two disasters they already have there. But yeah, this is a very interesting design. And just to give more details to it, there you can see designs a hybrid baseball stadium, shopping mall, hotel complex that's going to be located in South Korea. That's an article that just came out a few days ago. It's kind of hard to get the actual details on this. There's no Wikipedia article on this new stadium or anything, but apparently right now the project status is in process. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing actually comes together. It says, upon completion, the complex will be the world's first baseball stadium integrated with a shopping mall. It will also be the first privately funded professional sports venue in South Korea, according to a press release. I want to see if they have the actual cost of this. Just looking through some of these articles and some of these photos, they reference PNC Park and Oracle Park as a theme for the design. Yeah, nah, not really. This is a completely different type of stadium than that, I'll say. I mean, maybe if they're basing it off of the dimensions. I mean, look at that massive escalator. Is that the world's biggest escalator right there? Wow. That's pretty impressive escalator if that is actually what's going to be built there. The stadium is the SSG Baseball Stadium and Commercial Complex with a convention area. That's the official name for it. and the stadium is set to be completed by 2028. So if it's actually going to be completed by 2028, I'm guessing they haven't even broken ground on it. Normally, you're talking about 3 or 4 years in terms of construction. I'm guessing they'll be breaking ground sometime in 2024, but an interesting design. Would this work for, the United States, for an MLB team to have a shopping mall attached to it? It's an interesting idea. Especially with the idea of like incorporating a baseball district with a retractable roof ballpark or an enclosed ballpark. It does sacrifice seats. Like the one big issue you would have, the 21,000 capacity, that would never fly, obviously. But again, it's kind of strange. It's like they do have a bigger upper deck. I'm guessing they're just sacrificing so much capacity by having 0 stands out in right field. And that could be a bit of a detriment to this ballpark. I think if you would have kept everything the same, and then added like a small, set of stands out in right field rather than a standing room area, and then also added a small set of stands behind the bullpen a little bit, it would really enclose the stadium a little bit better. Also, the center field area is very strange. It's a little discombobulated to me. And the other thing I'll say, I would much rather see, rather than that ivy wall, a green patch in center field. I just think green patches out in center field look so much more presentable than something like that. But I do understand what you could do is you could have like some type of nature thing out there, kind of like Citizens Bank Park, put some trees and stuff, and then have a brick wall with ivy on it. That's an interesting design, but I'm not sure the brick would really work with a stadium that's more futuristic like this when there's no brick anywhere else throughout it. But that's just the idea on that stadium. So it is a fully domed stadium, but you can see kind of, you've got the natural light peering through the upper area right before the roof actually begins. And then the other stadium news I wanted to talk about, we've got another update on this Camping World Stadium saga located in Orlando, Florida. This came out 2 weeks ago. It says, Florida Citrus Sports unveils updated renderings of Camping World Stadium. Officials released new updated renderings of Camping World Stadium with a proposed upgrade to the upper deck seating. It was part of a $400 million proposal, so this is a completely different design than what we saw. And I guess my question is, it seems like this is just stage one of a 2-stage renovation that I thought Camping World Stadium was trying to achieve. This is very similar to the Miami Dolphins Hard Rock Stadium renovation. This would be stage one, where you kind of redevelop and redesign the upper deck by adding in more seats. With Hard Rock, they actually took away seats just because the upper deck structure was designed different originally. But with this one, this would be stage one, and then stage two would be adding some type of overhang. I wonder if they've completely scrapped the overhang because it would cost too much money. And quite frankly, it just doesn't make that much sense to have that crazy of an investment into a place that really, it does not have any tenants outside of one bowl game a year and like one neutral site college football game during the regular season. I do wonder if they would do this renovation and then possibly say, oh yeah, now we need a part 2 of the renovation, if that's something they would consider. But it's a very similar design to Hard Rock Stadium, where you have the kind of the 4 corners which are cut out. There's no seating there, and there is smaller scoreboards. The exterior is very strange just looking at it. The all white, in the state of Florida. It's an odd design. Just, judging from it lit up, it looks like the main stadium of a Winter Olympic Games. I'm not even kidding. That's what it gives me off the vibes, because it's all white and stuff. It just kind of looks like a gimmicky, like one of those smaller places when they host the Winter Olympics. Like, this seems like something that Sochi, Russia would build or something. When they got the Olympics in 2014, they would just throw up a main stadium like this, use it like twice, and then just go abandoned or something. It just looks like it. It looks like one of those soccer stadiums, the exterior paneling of it to me. But either way, I guess that's the new design. They're trying to cut back. They realized the potential $800 million or $1 billion proposal with the overhang, like big circular overhang. I'm guessing that was over aggressive. They couldn't afford it because, again, they don't have a tenant. So how are you going to get people to pay for it? And there's also the idea with this stadium, if they're able to do these renovations, could they potentially attract the Jacksonville Jaguars for 2 seasons as the Jaguars get their renovations? Or could they say, listen, the Jaguars, the public is never going to support that. Paying $1 billion, this whole stadium, the whole complex is going to cost $2 billion. Let's actually just try and attract the Jaguars here, similar to what we're doing with the Orlando Dreamers proposal with MLB. They're trying to attract the Rays. Could you imagine, or the city of Orlando gets both the Rays and the Jaguars? I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, there's no rumors of the Jaguars moving. It would just be like 2 years they would play there as their stadium gets renovated. But the issue with that is they don't even have the funds to renovate their stadium right now, the futuristic stadium that they want. It's possibly installing a massive translucent roof. But that is the update when it comes to that. But either way, guys, I just wanted to go over the very interesting model with an attached shopping mall located in South Korea that's supposed to be completed by 2028. The Dome Stadium. Very interesting design, and you can kind of see while you're shopping the games going on with all of that glass there up in right field. Cool and unique for sure. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.